Nothing's a guarantee in life, especially come bow hunting. I'm hoping this video will help you guys take down the biggest buck in your neighborhood. Like I said, all these little things you can do will stack the odds in your favor. Up your percentages. The more work you do, your odds of taking down your dream buck go way up. Alright guys, welcome back to Nate's Bow Hunting. First time checking out the channel, thanks for checking it out. The top 5 things you guys can do to take down big bucks consistently every single year. So do these 5 things and I can guarantee you, you'll go from scratching your head, why can't I take down that big buck I got on camera, to getting opportunities at them. Then you just got to pull off the shot. So are you guys sick of getting night pictures or even day trail cam pictures of the giant buck, not wrapping your tag around them? I've been there. That's why I'm putting this video out. I'm here to help you guys. So we're gonna start with the most important thing out of the top 5. I'll start with the number 1, guys. And to me, hands down, the most important factor to help you take down a big buck every season is the days you hunt. That also goes hand in hand with not over pressuring your property. Small property, big property, obviously more crucial on small properties. You can't over hunt your property. And days you hunt, the biggest thing I mean with that is those peak rut days. Every year I see it. I got, you know, a big mature buck I'm after. Those deer are nighttime, 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 nighttime. A lot of times those giant bucks, I'll only get in daylight anywhere from 1 to 3 times in camera. You got to capitalize on that. The days you hunt, the days you can catch that big buck slipping up in daylight. If you guys checked out my how to kill nocturnal bucks, usually I'm dealing with that. These bucks are all nocturnal and they'll only slip up 1 or 2 days. And the best thing you can do is not overpressure your property and figure out, plan ahead and think when the first day that buck is going to daylight on your property and be in the stand, because your first sit is going to be the best sit. I can guarantee it. But then when we get into November here in the Midwest and you're talking peak rut, you know, you can't be afraid of burning out your stands. You still got to hunt smart. I still give the deer 5 acres behind me. I just hunt the fringe. I give them all that. You know, I just hunt the perimeter. So even when I'm hunting those peak days all the time, not burning out, because access is huge, and access is another point we'll hit on here. So I actually found a shed today, guys. Nice 2.5, might be a 3.5, I'm not sure. I passed this deer this year. I got some footage of him, which is awesome. So glad to see he made it. He should be really nice next year. I don't find a whole lot of sheds at the small properties I hunt, but every once in a while I'll find a nice one. So these 5 things I'm going to go over, I used to not do any of them, and guess what? I wasn't real successful back in those days. I got lucky once in a while and killed a nice buck, but I was not consistent. Come to find out, after I started doing these 5 things, I've taken down nice buck the last 3 years. Been super successful, and that's with about 5 acres of hunting ground at this family farm and about 14 acres of hunting ground at the other family farm. And I'm in Wisconsin, southern Wisconsin. I'm not in Iowa, Missouri, Texas, Kansas, you know, these some of these states that they're taking out giant deer. I'm talking, you know, 200-inch deer. So some of you might be surprised access is on the top 5, but hands down access and exit is up there, because guess what? It goes with everything. You can have the best deer habitat, best food plots. If your access isn't good and you're blowing out deer on a consistent basis, those deer are going to go somewhere else. Unless you got the only food within a 5-10 mile radius, which I don't have that. I'm surrounded by ag, and all my neighbors hunt. They got food plots, they got good cover as well. So I have to make my property as appealing and make the deer feel as safe as possible. And if you don't have good access, that's not going to happen. The deer are gone. They're going to the neighbors. They're going somewhere where they feel safe, especially those mature bucks. They won't put up with it. Does might put up with it, but you got to have the doe. If you're not fooling your does, you're not fooling your big bucks. You got to keep them feeling safe. So it's easy to say, even get a little jealous at times. Well, Johnny's got, 200, 300 acres of his family land, or, Joe's got 500 acres, or these guys on TV, they got a couple thousand acres. I don't have that kind of money. I'm never going to kill big deer. That's really easy to do, and I've done the exact same thing in my early days of hunting. I got 2 really small family farms I hunt, and I'm like, you know what, I'm probably never going to kill some of these bucks that I consider trophy buck, big buck in the area. You know, I don't have the land for it. I got to go buy a couple thousand acres, and you know, maybe then I'll kill one. But you know, I don't have the land that Johnny does, or some of these guys on TV where they have 6 farms to hunt and a couple thousand acres. I'm never gonna have that. I don't have the money, so I'm just gonna, you know, make excuses and not shoot nice deer every year. You know, and like I said, I've almost got caught in that mindset in my earlier days of hunting. All right, stand placement. This is a bow hunting channel. I do have some guys that gun hunt that follow me as well, so I appreciate that. But whether it's gun or bow hunting stand, I'm mainly talking bow hunting here, but you have to have your stands. You know, we're talking, I feel comfortable shooting up to about 50 yards. A lot of guys, it's only 30 yards. Some guys, 20 yards. Whatever you're comfortable shooting, you got to get those big bucks within bow range. That's kind of hard to do, right? Without putting too much pressure on the deer. So the trick is to get your stand placement somewhere where your access is good, and yet you're going to be in bow range, or you can get those bucks to come in bow range of your property. If you can have the best habitat, food plots, everything, but if you don't have the good stand placement, which kind of goes hand in hand with access, it's not going to do you any good. I used to have my stands, you know, where I'd have to cross a main deer trail to get to it, or where I got that giant buck on camera, I'd put a stand right there. That's not the way to do it, because guess what? Unless you kill that deer on the first sit, that deer's going to smell you when he comes in there at nighttime, and that stand's not going to do you any good. I know a lot of guys that say, you know, once they get picked in that stand, that buck will steer clear of that stand. He'll even look up there to see if you're up there. So I was struggling big time to, I would get the deer on camera, but I couldn't put the puzzle pieces together, and I could not catch up with that deer. I'm lucky if I got, you know, 1 to 3 bucks that I consider. I usually look for a 4.5 or older deer to shoot. That's my term of a big buck, is a 4.5 or older buck. All right, next one on the list, habitat / food. You gotta have good habitat, right guys? If you don't have good deer habitat, check out my channel and see what you can all do to improve your deer habitat. We got a bunch of hinge cutting right back here. That's why the deer feel safe in this big oats food plot. So these are oats. The habitat goes with deer browse as well, not just the food plots. The deer got to have some browse in there. So if you just have a bunch of switchgrass, well, guess what? It's not really good deer habitat. You got to have some food and some browse for them. Browse is a huge part of a deer's diet. Some deer don't even hardly hit food plots. They rely on browse, having the cover, or security cover I call it, to make these big bucks feel safe. So if you have good deer habitat and food, you're going to attract does. And if you don't overpressure your property, and you have big bucks in your area, you're going to have shot at a big buck every single year. Because guess what? When those does go into heat, and if those does feel safe on your property, you got good habitat, you got good food, they're eating, those big bucks are going to come in. They're going to smell those does. And that last week of October, first 2 weeks of November, you're going to get a shot at that big buck, because he's going to be coming in on a doe or smelling out one of your does. That has worked for me time and time again. So even if your habitat, you know, you can't hold big bucks because you don't have a big property like myself. I can hold does. I got the food, I got the cover, the habitat for does, and that leads to me taking down nice bucks every year, because these does feel safe, and therefore the big bucks feel safe. When they come in, I'm just hunting the fringe, like I said. They got no idea I'm hunting them. They can't smell me. They haven't seen me get down from my stand. They haven't smelt a bunch of human scent. I don't blow any deer out. Therefore, it leads me to being successful. This is a little clover plot right in here, going on year 7. Oats, clover, soybeans, corn, milo. I have all those videos on the channel if you haven't checked them out. I don't sell any seed, pushing any products. I'm just telling you guys what has worked for me. So it helps to have certain properties, a real big property, it helps. But don't let that be an excuse of why you can't kill big deer every year. And that brings us to the last on the list, sanctuaries, somewhere where deer feel safe, like they're not being hunted and there's no people around. If you have a sanctuary, it goes hand in hand with having does. You're gonna have big bucks come around every single season if you have big bucks within a 3 to 5 mile radius of you. Sanctuary food plots, that's gonna be a whole nother video. You can have the best food plots in the world, but if you don't hunt them right, if you overpressure them, they're not gonna do you any good. That food plot has to be a sanctuary plot where the does feel safe eating in it. If the does don't feel safe, even in your food plots, because if your stand is right over top of the food plot, well, guess what? The big bucks sure as heck aren't going to feel safe. So, easiest fixes you can do if you got a stand like right over top of a food plot and you're hunting it all the time, you're blowing out deer. Those deer are also smelling you when they come in there at nighttime. Those big bucks, so they don't consider that food. They'll still hit that food plot at nighttime. I've seen that on a few properties I've been out to. Guys hunting right over top of their food plots. Obviously, there's exceptions to that. Some of the big guys I watch on YouTube, you know, they got hundreds, thousands of acres, couple farms. They'll move their big redneck blind out into a giant cornfield and follow these big deer around. They can get away with that because they have so much land to hunt, you can. But if you got under 100 acres like myself, you don't want to be blowing out your food plots. You don't want to be taking that gamble, going all in, trying to kill that big deer, because he's gone if you blow him out. Having a sanctuary food plot where those deer feel safe is absolutely crucial to taking down big bucks every year. But you have to live in an area where you have big deer, and you know, like I said, big bucks, it's all relative to your goals, whether it's a 100-inch buck or a 200-inch buck. So you have to live in an area that has big bucks to take down big bucks. You know, you put trail cameras out and you never even have a big buck on camera, a buck that you want to shoot, and you know, not even one all year. Well, guess what? You can do all 5 of these things and you're not going to shoot big deer, because if they're not there, you can't kill them, right? So obviously the most important thing is you got to have big deer to kill big deer, but that's obvious to me at least, so that's not on the list. Since I changed my mindset, started doing my homework, I have taken down big bucks consistently every single year, and I haven't bought another property. It was about changing my mindset and changing the way I hunt. I just love putting videos out, sharing my passion of chasing big bucks with you guys. Absolutely love it. I think about it just about every day. So I love sharing it with you guys. And I just want to thank everyone that's subscribed to my channel and been checking out my videos. I've been doing some on-site land consultations. I'm being in Iowa this week, going to Missouri next week. And it's been a lot of fun. If you guys need some more help, I'm going to keep releasing videos, one a week, helping you guys take down, you know, your biggest buck and improve your property, improve your deer habitat. But if you're overwhelmed or don't have the time to do your own research and watch all the videos, reach out and I'd be happy to come to your property and sit down and drop a plan and help you take down that biggest buck. So hope you guys are finding some big sheds. I know some guys that have found some real nice ones already, so they're dropping, guys. Get out, find them sheds, and if I can help you guys take down your biggest buck, if you guys can take down your biggest deer and say, hey, you know, that Nate, what he told me really worked, and I took down my biggest deer. And I bet if you guys reach out, that means more than anything to me, just to share that excitement, because the feeling you get when you take down that big buck you're after, there's nothing like it. So appreciate the support, and share the channel with someone you know. I'm just helping you guys become better bow hunters to hopefully take down that big buck come next season. So we'll see you guys next week.